Have WWE given up on the concept of Raw After Mania and are instead doing everything on the SmackDown After Mania? I am Luke Owen, DAD, and I'm joined by the hardest working person in all of sports infotainment, the queen of making you cry at vlogs, and the master of the low blow and eliminator of dickheads from battle royals. Denise Salcedo is on the show today. How are you, Denise?
Luke, I am extremely exhausted, but I'm happy to be back once again. So I got up for the show, right? I was getting ready and I was like, man, I haven't heard from Luke. And you usually send me the link to this pretty early. And I'm looking and I'm like, I haven't gotten a link for this show. And I was thinking, I'm going to be super pissed if I'm here getting my makeup done and we have no show today. And I started thinking, did Luke tell me anything? Was there anything that I forgot about? So when I saw your link, I made sure to give you a like so you knew that I was awake and that I was ready to go. So I'm glad to be back once again.
I was having a conversation with my wife when I was having my lunch break today, and she said, "Are you doing the show with Denise today?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "Does Denise know? Because she wasn't there last week." And I'm like, I mean, I think so. I haven't told her that, that we're not doing a show or anything, so I'm going to presume that she knows.
So we're just on a assuming basis. We need more communication between the both of us. Because one of these days, you're not going to show up, I'm not going to show up, and people are going to be like, what's going on?
What the hell's the stream gone? Yeah, that's the sort of professional outfit that we're running here. And we're running it, all of it on assumption. So thank you, Denise, for actually assuming that we were doing a show today. You were correct in your assumption.
Yay, I'm glad.
Before we do crack into things, obviously you had a very, very busy weekend last weekend with GCW, with Mission Pro, with Ring of Honor, with WrestleMania. How was your Dallas weekend?
Oh, it was so busy, but it was so good. It was one of those things where, for the first time, usually by a couple of days, I'm like, I'm ready to go home, And this is the first time where I was like, I want to stay. Things are good here. I don't want to go home yet. So I didn't want to go home yet, but either way, it was just a really fun, every day, every hour was something different. And it was just go, 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 go. And that's the funny part, though, is that I think I had so much adrenaline for everything I was, doing, waking up at 6 a.m. to get the day started at 7, 8 a.m. And then I wasn't ending the day until God, there were some nights where it was 1, there was some nights where it was 3, and there was some nights where it was 5, 6 a.m. So it was just one of those things where I had so much adrenaline for each single thing that I was doing. And now I'm home and it's it's all catching up to me. That's hi, Denise, remember us? Tiredness, sleepiness, we're here.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I have just been exhausted this week. I was supposed to some people have mentioned this in the chat. I was supposed to be off today.
Were you really?
Well, we made the decision late yesterday afternoon that I should probably take a day off because I haven't had a day off in a couple of weeks or so. And I've sort of been working every day, right? So we're like, you should probably take a day off. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will take the day off. And then I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, I haven't sorted out any cover for me to take the day off. I haven't got anyone to cover any of the tasks I was going to do. I haven't got anyone to do this show. And I know Mod Mother would have been able to find a suitable co-host, but I ended up just spending my entire morning working anyway. I was like, I may as well just stick around. I'll just do the show with Denise this afternoon. It'll be grand.
Well, at least now you have a day coming up where you can. Are you still going to get a day off?
I am. Coming up. Well, I've got 4 days to take off because of WrestleMania weekend, and I've actually got all of next week off. You're doing a show with Adam next week.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, it sounds like you're good on your days off.
Oh yeah, I've got some coming up. I'm absolutely fine, although I am a bit unwell. So apologies if you see me blowing my nose on this. I will mute my microphone, but you may have to suffer the visual of me blowing my nose.
Yeah, the allergies or the cold.
I don't know what it is. It could be hay fever. It could be some allergies kicking in. It could be my body shutting down. I don't know what it is. Either way, I'm a snotty mess. My desk looks like I'm either very unwell or I've had the best day at work, working from home ever. So it could have gone either way, really.
Luke, that's it. You can't do WrestleMania week anymore. Your body just can't handle it. Yeah, you're breaking down.
I am too old for this now.
Yeah, next year you're gonna be like, nah, screw it. I'll talk about it at a normal human hour.
Exactly. As like, I'll quote Luke from this week's meeting. I'll organize my time off within the next 2 months. I
Oh
will have those
dear.
time off. I will
Oh
arrange it at
dear.
some
But you
point.
know what, Luke? Don't complain too much. Ain't nobody giving me
Oh,
time off. None of my
I ain't
jobs.
complaining.
I'm an independent contractor. I don't get time off. I
Dude,
show
I
up
ain't
to work
complaining.
regardless.
I like working. I like this job. I like chatting
You
with
get
you.
days off where your employer encourages it. He's
I
like,
know.
Luke,
Well,
you
yeah.
got to take a day off. You're working too hard. Not one person has told me that in the last 3 years.
I
Not
also
one
get health
person shows up.
insurance.
If I don't show up to work, I ain't getting paid.
I get my health insurance. I get my
I
benefits.
don't have
I've got a
health
pension.
insurance.
I've got a pension. I'm all
I
grand,
don't
me.
got a pension. I hate you, Luke. Now I'm just mad.
Well, do you know what I don't hate? I don't hate the WrestleTalk magazine, and this episode is sponsored by the WrestleTalk magazine. You can get your copy of that in the clicking the link in the video description down below. And we are running quite a hefty promotion on this at the moment because you can get the WrestleTalk magazine digitally for just one singular Great British pound, or £10. You get an entire year's subscription. We have come up with the most affordable way to get to the WrestleTalk magazine, and it is a superb way to support us here at WrestleTalk. Our aim is to make the reader of the WrestleTalk magazine the person in any wrestling conversation that knows more than their friends about the business and its true inner workings. So get your copy today. Fabulous magazine it is.
Get
Denise.
your copy today to fund Luke Owens' day off.
Thank you all. I very much appreciate it. Denise Salcedo here, no days off. Right. Anyway, Denise. Raw After Mania. I listened to your and Sean review of the show, and you and I think we were sort of all in a similar boat, really, which is just like, I was expecting the show to be something bigger than it was because it's the first proper Raw After Mania since 2019. It's a Raw After Mania in front of fans. It is coming off the back of 2 excellent nights of WrestleMania, and in the end, the show was there. Like it was really not a lot to talk about coming off the back of it, which is shocking considering the Raw After Manias in the past.
I'm not shocked whatsoever because this was one of the things that I was talking about. I used to be the person that went to all the Raw After Manias. I thought, you know what? If I'm going to WrestleMania, I'm going to do the entire weekend. I'm going to do all the Manias. I'm going to do, the Hall of Fame, SmackDown, Raw. I was that person that used to do like the whole bundle. And so then I remember I went to 2 back-to-back Raw After Manias. And I remember thinking, oh man, I could have gone home earlier today. I didn't have to be here at this show because there wasn't anything that really happened. And I remember doing that back to back and then thinking, you know what? That's it. Next year, I'm not coming to Raw After Mania. And so I stopped coming to Raw After Mania. I don't go anymore. That's it. And I wasn't expecting, aside from the Cody Rhodes thing, don't like. Okay, going into the show, we had 2 things that we were looking forward to, and this is sad. Well, the second one is sad. Veer coming was really what some people were looking forward to, just because, for shits and giggles, right? And then the other one was Cody, because you're wondering, okay, what's he going to say, this and that. Other than that, there wasn't anything else that was promoted for the show, anything else that you might have been like, oh, let's see what happens. So I think a lot of people were running on the idea of like, okay, well, we got 2 really good shows for WrestleMania. This is the Raw After Mania. Let's see if they keep that going. And they didn't. But I personally was not surprised whatsoever because I had sat through those other Raw After Manias and been like, I could have gone home. So this time I went home.
Well, also, there we go, everyone. It took around 9 minutes into the show for Denise to drop her first swear of the day.
But it's like a saying, though. It's a saying.
I know it is, dude. You just don't say that saying on the show. Like, it's fine. Denise, I don't mind, really. I do it because it works.
Look, I'm going to have a breakdown on this show. What you're seeing here is a breakdown.
We are a family-friendly show here, Denise. So, I mean, but I agree with you to a certain extent. I actually feel that there have been some Raw After Manias, though, that have been like, that at least have had newsworthy things coming out of them. Whether that has been NXT call-ups, whether that has been returns, whether that has been debuts, whether that has just been a big new storyline starting. Now, I put up a tweet after Raw, because I did a live stream reaction to it, being like, man, that felt like a complete waste of time because that was 3 hours to promote Roman Reigns coming out and being like, hey guys, watch SmackDown on Friday. and then leaving. And like it was, and I got a lot of heat from it from WWE fans who were like, it's called a cliffhanger. And I would argue
That's not
that
a
is
cliffhanger.
absolutely not a cliffhanger at all. That is
They
not what.
really argued with that it was a cliffhanger. No, my friends, that is not a cliffhanger. Is legitimately someone's about to something is about to happen, and then they cut you off. I mean, you know this, I know this, a bunch of other people know this. Nothing
Exactly, yeah,
happened. He literally just came out and said, "Hey guys, watch SmackDown."
That's exactly it, right? Like, and they were promoting it throughout the show. Like, hey, you stick around the show. Roman Reigns is going to address the WWE universe, and his address was, "I'll see you on Friday." So it felt like a complete waste of time. And I am not a guy that my Raw After Mania doesn't live or die by debuts, returns, or anything like that. I just need to know what the next phase of Raw looks like coming out of WrestleMania. So I just need some storylines. I need some new characters. I need the other. And I got none of that. What I got was like, I know MVP turned on Bobby Lashley and sided with the Moss, which I think should have happened at WrestleMania because I've already seen the good guy win. I have seen Bobby Lashley take a Moss off his feet, and I've seen him beat him clean 1, 2, 3. So I don't know why I should now care that MVP is siding with the other one. I've already seen Bobby win.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my God. I put on Twitter that I thought it was a good idea to have MVP team up with Amaz because it would help Amaz a lot. And somebody was like, you just hate everything. You just hate Amaz. You hate this. You hate that. I was like, ew, I don't have time for you. Bye-bye. It's like one of those things though. Like I will literally praise 100 things, right? One thing that I didn't like, murder.
And the other, the Veer thing, yeah, I mean, Veer came out and he looked great because Veer's like, he's a very like athletic dude. He's got a really good look about him. But you could have done that debut 2 weeks after the Is Coming promos, not 6 months after the Is Coming promos. It would have had the exact same impact because he just beat up Dominic Mysterio, who lost in 90 seconds to The Miz. So like nothing felt like it had any impact. The only real development of story that we got was Ezekiel, which I would argue is the best storyline in WWE right now.
Oh my God. And you didn't get heat for that?
I thought it was so funny. Like when he came out and he was like, no, I'm Elias's younger brother. I thought it was hilarious.
It was so dumb. It was so dumb. But it's one of those things where it's like, it could either be so dumb that you're just like, why am I wasting my time watching this? Turn off the channel. Or you can see it as this is so dumb and so ridiculous that I'm going to watch this trash fire and see what the hell is going on. Luke, I legitimately did not know that was Elias. Like, had they kept the thing going for a bit and not tell us it was Elias, I would have never known. He looks so different. It was night and day difference. I could not believe it.
Yeah, when the name came up on the screen, me and Pete first thought that Ezekiel Jackson was back. And then he came out, I had a little pause and I was like, is that Elias? And we weren't sure, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Elias right there.
I thought it was LA Knight, but with like hair extensions.
But coming off the back of WrestleMania 38, Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful Select, to go and subscribe to Fightful Select, a fabulous service and a very good friend of ours, despite his impression of me that he did on Fightful.
Yeah, you should be insulted.
Oh, we talked about it on the Raw. We talked about it on our own Raw podcast.
How did you feel about it?
Well, he talked about. Okay, he wouldn't be where he is without us. I'm just going to say it. He would not be where. Like we made him. We made Sean Ross Sapp. So he should be thanking
us. There's a lot of drama. I just feel like I'm in a war and like I'm in the middle and there's Sean throwing cannons, like cannonballs. And then your guys are coming in here. I'm stuck between the US and Britain going at it. I'm just here like, I just want world peace.
Exactly. Please pay me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sean was reporting on Fightful Select. He's doing his Q&A show. People were asking like what the feedback was, like the backstage reaction to WrestleMania 38, and he was like, it was universally positive. Like everyone, this is a quote from the Q&A podcast. There are people upset they were not on the show and were not included. So there were people who weren't happy that they weren't on the card, but overall, there were people who really like. Everyone thought that WrestleMania 38 knocked it out the park. However, this is a quote from Sean. There were some people fearful after Monday that it was back to the same old, but there is a growing sense of optimism. And so that is basically like talent were like WrestleMania was great. They show up for Raw, and Raw's the exact same show it has been for the last 18 months. And they're like, well, we had our one good show, but now we are just back to business as usual, and these shows not really mattering.
So here's my whole thought. Like, when I was watching WrestleMania Night 1 in particular, because both nights I thought were fine. Night 1 was obviously a whole lot better. Like, it had so much, but Night 2 was still fine, right? Okay. So as I was watching Night 1, I just every segment, every match that was going by, I kept thinking, oh man, this was good. This was good. This was good. What the hell crawled up their butt that all of a sudden we're getting good programming? What is happening here? And I just remember thinking, like, after this show, like, damn, WWE really needed a night like this. They could not afford to drop the bomb, because do you remember when we were talking about the Royal Rumble and how we were talking about them dropping the ball on a pay-per-view that casuals still tune in to actually watch, and how big of a disappointment that show was? And I guess, like, part of me was not, I wasn't expecting like a trash fire show for WrestleMania, but I wasn't expecting a WrestleMania show either. And so, like, for me, I just remember thinking, like, damn, they really did a good job on this. Like, that Night 1 WrestleMania had everything that I think a WrestleMania needs. And I know that there was complaints about, a match being cut and this and that, but I'm like, if you look at the bigger picture, sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. I'm like, dude, this was such a win for WWE today. They put on a good show, top to bottom, even the matches that on paper I was like, I don't really want to sit there and watch that. Even those matches ended up delivering. So for me, I'm like, if you kind of had complaints about Night 1, you're just looking to complain at this point, okay? That's legitimately how I felt. I thought that Night 1 of WrestleMania was a win. Night 2, there were some things that were, a little interesting, a little wonky, but for the most part, I thought that the show was, it was good too, considering. But here's the thing, though. I went into Night 2 knowing that it wasn't going to be anything like Night 1. So I didn't have any like high expectations. I was just looking for the show not to put me to sleep. And it did not. I actually was interested in a lot that was going on. So that's kind of how I felt about it. I thought they really needed a show like this. And on top of that, I did wonder, I'm like, I wonder if they're going to keep this, going for Raw After Mania. And they really didn't, which we already talked about. So it is one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I guess we're back to our regular programming.
That's exactly it. But the interesting thing here is that we are now heading towards the SmackDown After Mania, which, is nearly a week after WrestleMania happened. And all of a sudden there are reports and rumors and the like about returns, debuts, NXT call-ups, and this, that, and the other. So like PW Insider reporting Lacey Evans is going to be returning to SmackDown today. Fightful are reporting there's some NXT call-ups in the works. Imperium being one of them. Walter and I think it's
Marcel.
It's Marcel.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I can't remember which one quit the team. Yeah, so like Walter and Marcel Bartel might be called up as a tag team. There's talks of Raquel Gonzalez is going to get called up. There's talks of LA Knight getting a call up, though not as a wrestler, as a manager instead. And there's also reports from PW Insider that Cody Rhodes is going to be at the show today. Don't know if he's going to be on the show or wrestling on the show, but he is going to be at the show. He's going to be at the tapings backstage, might be in the dark match or something. Plus, there's also rumors that Asuka and Bayley could be making their returns. There were pictures for Asuka in the Rumble. So there's every chance that we might get all of this happening. The the Gunther and Bartel thing seems like quite a likely thing to happen. And all of a sudden, you're looking at all those rumors and everything. You're like, that's all the stuff that used to be on the Raw After Mania. But now, because SmackDown's on Fox, it gets the bigger audience. Really is telling you that SmackDown is the biggest show.
I don't have an issue with them doing that. I think that they should be building up SmackDown, especially SmackDown After Mania. And I get it but here's the thing, just because you're building up SmackDown doesn't mean you got to stomp all over Raw. Because at the end of the day, you still got, those traveling people that, saved up like for the entire year to be at WrestleMania. So you want to make sure you give them a good show. You reward them to come back to next year's WrestleMania. But I don't have an issue with that on SmackDown. I want them to promote SmackDown as a big show. It should be promoted as a big show. And they need to put better stuff on that show. SmackDown for me is the hardest show of the week for me to get through. I can get through NXT 2.0. more than SmackDown certain weeks. There are certain weeks where I'm watching SmackDown thinking, man, I live in Los Angeles. I could be out having a blast on a Friday night, and here I am watching SmackDown. That's depressing.
So I find SmackDown to be the hardest show of the week to watch, if only because nothing ever happens on it. Like if it ain't Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, like ain't nothing happening. That go home show for WrestleMania was embarrassing.
I
in how
didn't
boring
watch
it
it.
was.
How was it?
Oh my! The main event segment was Happy Talk.
What? What?
Yeah, the main event segment was Happy Talk. Like I looked at there was like 15 minutes left of the show, and I was like, wow, they're gonna have to really cram in a Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns segment here somewhere because this can't be the main event. But the main event was Happy Corbin with the sword, and then Drew McIntyre came out, got the sword back, and then that was it. That was the go home segment before Mania.
Oh my God. And on a night like that, where they were literally competing with everybody and their mothers, like everybody and their mother was running a show that weekend, that
Yeah.
specific day, excuse me, that specific day and hour, like big shows.
Absolutely right, and like I think for me, so SmackDown I find to be a very difficult show. So I've got no issues with them doing a lot of potentially big things here for the SmackDown After Mania. It should be. It's your season premiere. It's meant to be the real big start. You know, this is what's going to be the post WrestleMania season is like. So yeah, NXT call-ups, returns, new storylines, new characters, developments. But I think they need that on Raw as well. Raw got a great number this week, a great number. It's better ratings in ages because of course it did. It's the Raw After Mania. But that show told me that nothing has changed, and all of those people that you may have got to stick around are not going to be there tuning back in next week.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You need to get it back into people's heads that, good things can happen on this show. Like, I feel like, people are still, regardless, it's going to be a while. People are still going to show up to the Raw After Manias because at the end of the day, it's just, you're there, you're on a trip, you're on a vacation, especially for the traveling people. The people on TV might tune in, feeling a little bit hopeful, but you need to get it in people's head that, hey, something good can happen. Like, I feel like they were probably just writing off the whole Cody Rhodes thing and thinking that that would be enough for today's show. I mean, for the Raw After Mania show. And it wasn't. Like, it was good, but they needed more for that. Like, they needed way more. And like, even just like the Roman Reigns segment, he could have done anything else. He could have cut some ridiculous promo. I don't care. He could have literally done anything else other than just promote SmackDown. It left you thinking like, oh wait, the show's over, that's it. It didn't leave you with the, oh my God, what a show moment. No, it was, I could only imagine like how I felt after that was like, oh, Raw's over, okay, okay, time for a post show,
Yeah, I mean, we were like watching it live, right? Because I came into the Fightful post stream afterwards to be like, it was a boring show.
I was wondering, I was like, why are you up?
I was gonna say, like, you both are like, why are you awake? And I'm just like, because I'm watching this dang show live. I don't know why people do this every week. The show sucks to watch.
And
live.
I watched this show live, Luke, like from 5 to 8. I sit here and I'm like, all right, what's gonna happen today? Only like at least like less than a handful of shows I've started like an hour or half hour late, but for the most part, I watch live every week.
Show started at 1 a.m. in the UK. And it's 3 hours. And like, also, you Americans and your goddamn commercial breaks. Knock it off, will you?
Wait, Luke, how do you think these shows get funded?
I've got no problem with that. Hey, there are channels over here that get
commercials.
Yeah, we have channels over here that have commercials, and they get funded by commercials.
Were you getting American commercials?
No. We get British commercials. It's just that they're inserted when your American commercials are. But like, say for example, a game of football shown here in the UK, you get a commercial break before the kickoff starts, and then you get one 45 minutes later, and then
Raw gets a bunch of commercial breaks.
I know. And if I'm watching a half-hour TV show on Channel 4 or ITV, I get one ad break at the 15-minute mark, and then that's it.
We get like 4.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. America, sort yourselves out. You don't need that many commercials.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but the commercials are part of, them making money on these shows, Luke. I can't tell.
Are you trying to tell me that Channel 4 shows aren't making money?
How do you think I feel? I watch the same Pizza Hut commercial over and over and over again. That's the sad part. They repeat the commercials multiple times. If they had different commercials, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't mind it as much. But we get the same commercials over and over.
Anywho, I'm just saying, sort yourselves out. But did you actually know, like, I was surprised to hear this. Speaking of the Cody Rhodes promo, that was a scripted promo.
I think he said it wasn't scripted on the bump. He said it was from the heart.
So, I mean, Sean said there was a ringside news report that it was a scripted promo. And then Sean said in the Q&A show, I can confirm what ringside news said. It was a scripted promo.
Oh, and then you had Cody saying it wasn't scripted.
It didn't sound like
No, it didn't. But here's the thing, though. Even if it was scripted, the way I see it is like I still feel that he conveyed the emotion. And I know that me and Sean kind of had that argument a little bit on Raw about like whether or not he felt the emotion was coming through. I did feel the emotion was coming through. And so for me, even though it was a scripted promo, here's the thing. If you can make a scripted promo and be able to still convey that emotion, that's like, seriously, I can't even imagine doing something like that. Like if someone scripts me and I'm supposed to convey emotions with somebody else's words, like that's a hard job to do. So thumbs up.
So, I mean, to kind of conclude the thoughts on this and the Raw After Mania situation, I think it was an error. I think what they did this year was an error. I think you needed a bigger show than what they had. I think you needed to knock this out of the park and potentially keep people sticking around. I think it is kind of indicative of what WrestleMania has become, because when you look at who the big names coming out of WrestleMania on both nights, it's Logan Paul, it's Brock Lesnar, it's Roman Reigns, it's Vince McMahon, it's Steve Austin, it's Johnny Knoxville, and none of those guys are then there on Raw. And so what you're left with is essentially the B team, and the B team were the people to kind of like have to carry the 3 hours, and I don't think that they managed it.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had Austin come out and been like, maybe talking about the match or something. But see, that's the thing, though. Austin's different, though. He's like, you want to sprinkle him in because it's always a nice moment when he comes out and whatnot. Johnny Knoxville, I'm sure, went back to his Hollywood life. Same thing with Logan Paul. People were just aching to get out of Texas and go back to Hollywood.
Denise Salcedo. I mean, I was going to make that point actually when you said that night 2 was a bit hit and miss. I thought that Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn match was match of the weekend.
I love that. I love that match. I thought it was so much fun, and I thought it was going to be like a really bad SmackDown match. That's what I was expecting, but it ended up being like a WrestleMania moment memory. Like a couple of years from now, I will go back and watch that match again,
100%. I thought it was tremendous. And it's been even funnier seeing Dave Meltzer's reaction to it, because Dave Meltzer hated it.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's not going to be for everybody.
No.
That's the thing. Like, everybody's going to have a different opinion. I feel like I feel like now, like, especially with social media, it feels like we almost have to all be identical, or else people come after you and you're like a horrible human and you should die because you didn't like something that somebody else did. And that to me is just like ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't think people should be buried alive because they didn't like something. Like, as long as people aren't going out and saying like horrible things like, Luke Owen, you should die because you're ugly and I hate you, then okay, you know what? That's something to get heat about on social media. But like going out there and saying you don't like something or it just wasn't for you, stop murdering people over that.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. I thought that Dave's reaction to it was equally as hilarious. And I love the fact he also hated the Vince McMahon match because it wasn't well worked.
Oh my God.
That's nearly 100.
Luke, when the whole Vince McMahon stunner thing happened, I finally got the meaning of bless his cotton socks.
Bless his cotton socks, he tried.
Yes. I thought it right in my head. I was like, bless his cotton socks. I know Vince has his flaws. He's, you could argue he's a terrible person, this and that, whatever, right? I felt so bad for him during that moment. I was like, no.
I love how they re-edited
so bad.
I love how they re-edited it.
Felt bad for him during that. But Austin, obviously, with his laugh and kind of, he had the typical Vince face, but it was just the worst thing I had ever seen happen, like in my entire life.
Oh my God, it was so funny. The re-edit of it on Raw was marvelous.
Yeah, it was so great. They did a good job of like working around it too. It was like, he's going freeze frame, the bottom part video.
Right, well, let's get into your Ultrachats, see what you have to say about this and the weeks in wrestling news. But also, while you are clicking links, which you can do to support this channel and get your Ultrachat in, you can get your copy of the WrestleTalk magazine for just £1 great British pound. It's a fabulous price. It's one of the lowest prices we've ever had for one of our products here at WrestleTalk, and you can get a whole year subscription for just £10. It's a fabulous little service, and we are trying to make the WrestleTalk magazine as affordable for every single person as possible. That is a digital copy of it as well, which comes out 7 days before the print edition, so you can get it early.
Hey, Luke, so I'm thinking about going to the UK by the end of the year.
Are you? Where are you going to go to?
I don't know. I haven't decided, but I'm thinking about making a pit stop in London.
If you are, Denise, I would like to. I'll go out for a.
Hey, you promised me a 5-course meal.
A 5-course meal. I know I did promise you a 5-course meal.
I don't care. With child, without child, you promised me a 5-course meal.
I did promise you a 5-course meal when you came to the UK.
Yeah, so. I'm just waiting for my passport. So just a heads up. I'm making my way over there.
It's good to know that you remembered that.
What?
So it's good to know you remembered my promise there.
Yeah. Oh, I remembered. I remember everything.
Okay, right. Well, you know, I will stick by my promise. If we're able to make it work, Denise, I will make you a 5-course meal.
You're like, oh no, please hold Denise back. Don't let her passport come.
No, I wouldn't deny you that. Laximham Narasimham B said, "What are you talking about? Ezekiel will be over next week. Just with that, it was the one night when they boo and they normally cheer and vice versa. Never more that Zeke has ever complete silence. Also, SRS ain't musing anyone anymore, I guess, after last week. I mean, obviously, we played the GCW spot a lot. On the SmackDown podcast, because it was basically like it was that and Samoa Joe's debut. We're like, well, these are the two most newsworthy things that happened on Friday night.
We gave you content to talk about.
You did give us content, and it was delightful, and we have not stopped laughing at it. But I also loved the podcast that you and Sean did, and I am gutted we did not get that Canadian Destroyer.
Oh my God, you don't even know how much anxiety I had. I had so much anxiety. And I showed that clip on my vlog too, the one where Sean's telling me. And I'm like, no, shut up, Sean. And there's just a bunch of profanity. Good. There's just a bunch of profanity coming out of me. Like, that's who I really am. Like, that right there is just like bad word, bad word, bad word. And then at the end of the vlog, I did apologize. Somebody called me out on it. They were like, Denise, you literally cursed the entire vlog. And at the end, you were like, oh, I'm so sorry for the curse. But anyways, yeah, it was so great. It was so much fun. But yeah, we broke it down on that GCW podcast that we did. And it was just one of those things where it came out of nowhere. It happened, and it was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
At least you know where the hard cam is.
Yeah. Oh my God, freaking Sean. And we were arguing about this. I kept telling him, Sean, this is where the hard cam's at. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's all, this is where it's because here's the thing about Sean that you need to know. When he's got it in his head that he's right, there's no arguing with him. There's none. I kept telling him, Sean, the hard cam is over right across the stage. And then he was like, yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. This and that. And I was like, but Sean, and then it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, fine, whatever you say, fine.
And you were right. The mayor of Painesville Dan says, hey Luke, hey Denise, glad to see some lovely people doing well. So let's talk about Gunther. They bring him to the US, they change his name, they change his iconic theme, they break up his group, and they pin him clean on TV. Walter, please come home. Well, Dan, he may be coming to SmackDown tonight. And if actually, let's quickly talk about that. So, like, you know, Gunther and Bartel may be debuting on the main roster tonight. And the rumor has it as a tag team. And they're not pushing Walter as a singles guy. They're not going to put him in a big main event program. He's just going to be a tag team on SmackDown. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I feel bad for Fabian Eichner because it's like your buddies are going off to Disneyland to go have fun and you're just there like, womp womp, what's gonna happen? Like, that sucks, man. Like, honestly, you gotta think about that. That really sucks. And I really wish that they could have just brought them up at what they were, already doing, what we've already known them for. And I will say this though, Walter looks great, man. He has really gotten in shape. I got to talk to them at the the media day thing. And boy, they were super tall. I was like, wow, you're such a big man. You're all the way up there. I'm all the way down here. They looked great. And then it was funny though, because I think it was Marcel Yeah, it was Marcel. He kept calling him Walter throughout the interview, and I was like,
It's
I
so
was like,
good.
it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, you still call him Walter? Okay, good to know.
Oh yeah, there are some things you can't break. I mean, it's his real name as well. It should be pointed out as well because someone has mentioned this here. Redmond Survivor saying that Meltzer said in the Observer that they are probably going to be separate on the main roster, but Sean was saying on the Q&A show that they might be as a tag team as well. So I guess plans are up in the air. But man, if I'm bringing Walter up to the main roster, I ain't bringing him in as a tag team with Marcel Bartel. I know nothing against Bartel because I think Bartel is awesome. But like you say, I bring them up as a threesome, and I have Eichner and Bartel as the tag team, and I have Gunther as the singles guy. That is the way forward right there.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would have done it. Bring 3 guys up, you feed the singles division, and you feed the tag team division.
Tag division, yeah. Jamel Fleming says, good morning, DAD, and the hardest working person in all of sports infotainment. Do you feel an off-season would benefit times like these, where excitement peaked at WrestleMania? Now everything seems to lull in comparison. Even if it was just 2 weeks or maybe a month, jam that jam, hashtag peanuts. What do you think of an
always
off-season?
like this though? It's always like, the lead up to like from January to WrestleMania, it's like, you got the Royal Rumble, everyone's feeling psyched, you're excited about that. Then there's kind of this like period where you don't get anything after that. I mean, like, who's really excited for WrestleMania Backlash? I don't even know what day it is. I don't even know.
It's May 6th, I think.
Is it till May?
Yes, May.
When's Money in the Bank?
June.
June? Okay, well, I'm excited for Money in the Bank. Like, I'm not going to peak until Money in the Bank. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so then there's all this time until Money in the Bank. That's really when I know things are going to start picking up again. And then, okay, after that, we got SummerSlam, and that's going to be, your nice summertime stuff. And then after that, you got to wait for your other, you got, Survivor. Do you still get, I don't get excited for Survivor Series anymore.
I think you're right. Like, I think you have that period of like January to WrestleMania is sort of like this big peak of interest. And then that interest slightly goes down, peaks back up again at SummerSlam, and then dips massively off between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble. Like the second half of the year is usually when WWE stop trying because they don't care about Survivor Series, and I don't know why we do either. And that is when like there's a real lull in interest and efforts put forth.
I've lost track of how many times I've yawned today.
It's all right.
Against you, Luke.
No, I know it's no, I know
so
it's not. I'm sorry.
tired.
Like I'm sorry that I have to like. I'm sorry, I have to blow my nose and then like.
See, you're yawning. I'm yawning, and you're blowing your nose and rubbing your eyes. This is a disaster.
Oh, I'm an absolute mess as well. Ten Rosa, AEW on New Japan. Huh? AEW on New Japan World.
I don't know what he's referring to.
New Japan World. What is this? There's 3 hours ago, AEW Dynamite and Rampage are coming to New Japan World in Japan. There you go. AEW program is being added to New Japan World.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
That is fun. That's very cool.
Did AEW just announce that right now?
It was like 3 hours ago they made the announcement.
Oh, okay. Apparently. I wasn't even up 3 hours ago.
Nope. I was watching Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares 3 hours ago and editing a podcast. Anyway, so Ten Rose continues. Noah didn't bring in Michael Elgin. I'm scared for Asuka to come back. I know she won't be used properly. Rampage seems like the hottest show tonight. I'm thinking the future of New Japan is bright on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, it's a big Rampage tonight. Apparently that John Moxley Wheeler Yuta match is awesome. I've heard it's really, really good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad because there's some Rampages where I'm like, oof, they gave me nothing to talk about today.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, Swerve's cool, I guess, but apart from that.
And then it's like, okay, then there's nothing happening on SmackDown. And I'm like, dude, I got 3 hours of shows and I have like 5 things to talk about. How is that even possible?
Right, DR. Hey, yo. I fear that SmackDown was fully butched up Pete Dunne. Sorry, I fear that SmackDown has fully butched up Pete Dunne. If the joint manipulation and British strong style remain, then what's in a name? Sadly, this scrappy Dunne seems to be a herald of doom. Love you guys. Hi, Denise. Jam that jam. Dude, I don't know what they did to my beautiful boy when I was watching WrestleMania and this scrappy dude prick was dancing around the outside. Well, let me at him. Well, let me at him. I was like, that ain't my Pete Dunne. That is not my Peter Dunne. What have you done with him? Give me my Pete Dunne back. I wasn't more upset that they beat the New Day. Because I was more upset that they beat the New Day in 90 seconds. That sucked, particularly because it was like a tribute to Big E. But very close second to that was my beautiful boy Pete Dunne. It was very upsetting.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I predicted his future, and I could not be more wrong.
Tyler Robinson said, I agree with Ollie that it seems WWE is learning on bringing celebrities in for matches for one big pay-per-view. It got me thinking, if WWE does do a pay-per-view in the UK, which they're doing it this summer, who is a celebrity that everyone hates like Logan Paul, James Corden, or Mr. Blobby? James Corden's too American
please,
now.
James Corden.
He's too American.
Wouldn't he get heat over there?
If James Corden came out here, he would get massive heat. He would actually be like one of those guys. You know, in the summer when they brought Logan Paul in and thought he's going to be a massive babyface and the crowd booed him out of the building. If they brought James Corden, he would get booed out of that stadium massively. Maybe they should bring him in because it would be hilarious to see.
I would love to see it. Oh my God, it would be like the best thing ever. I'd be so excited for it. I'm pushing for it. I'm rooting for it. If Vince McMahon calls me, I'm going to tell him, do everything you can to get James on. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Someone just said in the comments, Boris Johnson. I'm not sure you could call Boris Johnson a celebrity, but yeah, it's not a bad shout, to be fair. He would probably get booed out of the building as well.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
That's our prime minister.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Prime Minister.
It's all right. You should never apologize to him. He's the worst.
Oh, okay, good. Not sorry, Prime Minister.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, he's not sorry for any of the bad things that he does, so I would be sorry for him either.
Maybe you can get one of the princes, like Prince Harry. He seems like he'd do it.
Would Prince Harry or Prince William get booed? I mean, Prince William's obviously in the States now, but would Prince Harry get booed? I don't think Prince William would get booed.
He'd get loved.
I think he would get a lot of love because we like Prince. We like Wills. We like Wills and Kate. So I think they would probably get liked. Having said that, we're also the UK. So you could bring out any celebrity, even if it's a celebrity we like, we'll probably still boo them anyway because we're just jerks.
What if they get the Queen to make a cameo?
They get the Queen to come out.
What if we get like a moment between the Queen and Vince McMahon where they're like eyeing each other and like Vince is like, ooh, and then the Queen is like, ooh.
I would love for the Queen to take a Stone Cold Stunner. Like that is.
Oh my God. But she's like 100 now, isn't she?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's older than Vince is, but like I reckon she could probably sell a Stunner better.
Dude, oh my God. I would be terrified. I don't want to see anything go down in the ring that I don't want to see. But I would love for the Queen I would mark out so hard and she ain't even my Queen.
Tails P says,
do you guys like the Queen? Yeah, huh?
I mean,
are you allowed to even say that if you don't, you'll get beheaded?
I think I might get beheaded if I say it.
Okay, never mind. You love the Queen.
But in all seriousness, I'm indifferent to the royal family. Like, some of them are fine, some of them are terribly the worst. Prince Andrew is legit the worst. But I'm indifferent to the Queen. I think she's a lovely person. I don't have that attachment to the Queen.
I see. I thought everybody just loved the Queen.
Yeah, I mean, she's a match. She's all right. Tails P said, what they wanted with Hit Row, they could have had with Imperium, but for some reason they want another foreign tag team to lose to the New Day. Legit Underboss. If Fabian Eichner is still in NXT and gets a name change, do they put him with Tony D'Angelo? I think I would be done with that show if they did that.
Put who with Tony D'Angelo?
Fabian Eichner.
Oh, God. It could. No. I was going to say it could work, but then I was like, no, it can't work. I don't know.
Marcel Art says, hey, Denise, do you recognize my name? Short break for answer.
What is it again?
Marcel Arts.
Yeah, he sponsored me for Mission Pro. Thank you so much.
He's a good guy.
I remember everything.
Exactly. He once sent us a drink, a German drink that we tasted, and we were like, "Oh, it tastes like apples," because it tasted like apples. And Marcel, he must have been like, "It does not taste like apples," and we were like, "No, dude, it really does." So anytime like he's one of our Patreon backers, his nickname is "How do you like them apples?" Marcel Jura, because
so what is it supposed to taste like?
It tastes like apples. It tastes exactly like apples. It's not like cidery apples, but it was like an apple liqueur type thing. It was very delicious. It was very nice.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Anyway, Marcel continues. I'm the one who sponsored you for Mission Pro Wrestling. Please talk a little bit about your experience there and your time. Will you be doing more wrestling commentary in the future? I have not caught up yet with Bangers Only. How was it?
It was a good show. I had to leave I didn't get to watch the semi-main event or the main event because I had to leave, but I did get to call the first 6 matches, which was really fun. It was a good time, it was a really nice event. We had a good turnout. I think there was just like a lot of people, a lot of the girls that showed up were just like really ready to put on a good show, and you could tell. And it was so much fun. And now, I'll continue. I'm officially one of the commentators for Mission Pro Wrestling. So it'll just continue forward until, I decide not to be, or they decide not to be, whatever. But no, it's a good time. It's a good time.
He also continues to say, can you cut a promo on Lufisto? Since I had to choose between you and this living legend, keep up the good work, as it clearly pays off.
No, are you kidding me? Lufisto's like a living legend. I could not lace up her boots.
Sen Rosa said, has Cody replaced Don Callis as the most carny POS in the wrestling business? Can we trust what he says? He seems like to be the worker of all workers. Don't think I could take him seriously again. Look, I'm in the UK in July and August. Buy me a drink. A drink on me. No 5-course dinner needed. Thanks, Ten Rosa.
I was gonna say you're gonna have a full social calendar.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like I was talking to Angela from Hobby Night. She said she might be coming into the UK at some point this year as well. It'd be great.
Ooh, you have a bunch of visitors.
Yeah, I would like that. I like it a lot.
I mean, you could invite me over for a 5-course meal. Treat me to some fun and games, since you like to do your board game stuff. We could play Monopoly.
Denise, if you come to the UK, you're going to get a night on the towels with us. You're going to have a great, until you're too tired and you have to go back to your hotel room, or I'm too tired and I have to go home. But we will have.
I'm going to wear you out then.
We're going to have a great time.
I want to go and like spin in the London Eye, go on the London Eye a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you spin in the London Eye. It's a very slow moving thing.
Yeah, but you circle around. Is there any fast roller coasters in London? Or is it just
no, we don't have any theme parks here. So if you want to go to you'd have to go to like Chessington World of Adventures or Thorpe Park, which are slightly outside of like they're a bit further out. They're like a few hour drive away from London. Maybe
we have like 50 theme parks here.
I know we don't really have them here. Like we've got Thorpe Park, we've got Chessington World of Adventures, and what's the other one? Alton Towers. But yeah, they're miles away from London. Oh, I can take you to if you want to go to Blackpool, we can go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. That's got a wicked roller coaster there. The Pepsi Max Big one. I actually haven't said that. I'm not sure. I went on the Pepsi Max Big one in 1995. I don't know if it's still there, but I loved it when it was there.
I don't know, but I need to see more, so I'm planning on it. Don't worry, I'll hit you up.
Jenny Davis said, I've recently decided to change my major to English with writing and a minor in communications. I'm thinking that I could try and pursue a writing job in WWE, especially since I have a relative who has connections there. Do you think this is a good idea?
I think that, like, first of all, if you want to do it, then you do it. That's it. 100%. That's all I think. If you want to do it, you do it.
Yeah, that is what I would say.
It's just that we've heard bad horror stories about that. That's the only reason why I'm like,
Yeah, there aren't many former WWE writers that come out and be like, I had a great time working there.
But that's the thing, though. Like, there's so many times where people will be like, this is a terrible place to work. This is a terrible place to work. But if it's your dream and that's what you want to do, then you find that out for yourself. You can't let somebody else's like opinion sway you from like going out to doing something that you want to do, because just because somebody had like a bad experience doesn't mean you're going to have a bad experience, So I say do it. Do what you want to do.
Phoenix says, hello, Luke and Denise. Can you shout out my beautiful partner, Skylar? No specific reason. I just think she's great. Thanks.
Hi, Skylar. You sound great.
Yeah, you do sound great. Lax Simham says, Luke, if you need days off any time of the year, just take inspiration from Retribution and tell Ollie, I'm under contract. I can do whatever I want. If I need time off, I'm taking time off. Hopefully by the time Denise reaches London, Adam will have lost enough board game club for that promised game of Monopoly. That would be the most, that'd be the best payoff. That would be the best payoff to all of that.
Yeah, I think Adam's avoiding me though. He wants nothing to do with me.
Oh, well, I mean, you're doing a show with him next week. He literally can't avoid you then.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be great.
Trapped him. And in fairness as well, I just want to, the reason I've not taken time off is my own choosing. Like, I have been the one to do this. It's not been anyone making me do this. I have decided I was working on these days. I needed to film some stuff for the My GM series. I just had some stuff I needed to do. And I was like, I've got a whole week off next week. So I can take, I can recover then. And I can take some time off down the line.
Nice. You deserve it.
Thanks, man. Denise, have you got anything that you would like to plug before we get out of here?
Just the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. Please go there. 12 new videos have been uploaded. ROH Media Scrums, Cody Presser, interviews with WWE talent, my WrestleMania vlog, all of that good stuff. Go check that out. That's all there. And then Twitter @_Denise Salcedo. I am just a couple of 1,000 followers away from 69K.
Nice.
Almost there.
I'm still at 31,000, which is where I was the last time I spoke to you. I haven't not grown.
Luke, that's because you haven't tried.
I had a tweet that had over 4,000 likes. That's massive for me. That was
And what
huge.
was it? I didn't see it.
That was the one where I said Raw was a bit boring this week.
Did you get heat?
Oh yeah, that was one I got massive heat for. That was when people were telling me it's called a cliffhanger. Like if you'd watch TV,
Oh, that's where you were getting that. I thought it was on the podcast chat.
Oh no, it was on Twitter. It was on the Twitter machine. I got that.
Oh God, yeah, good luck. I told you, that's not something to be murdered about. If you thought it was boring, so let you think it was boring. Let's say I thought it was a great show. If you thought it was boring, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't be friends with Luke anymore because he thought the show was boring.
I know. I would say all the people that had to pop at me for it and be like, you need to learn how TV works. It's called a cliffhanger. Roman's injured, which apparently he actually is.
And these people know how TV works.
Yeah. You click onto them, none of them follow me. So they're people who have seen it they've seen it and retweet and they contacted me that way. So I'm happy to be at 31,000 because I'd rather just have cool people follow me.
No, you know it's terrible when you have people talking shit to you and then you check and they are following you. That's how I am. That's my goal.
I never get that Sean moment where you get to do the little repost that says follows you. Never get that.
Oh my God. I'm no longer burning people because I've come to the conclusion that I have more to lose than they do. So I'm at this no response type of thing. But there's been some good ones where I'm like, I can make you feel so bad right now, but then I'm going to look like the villain. And that's what happens to you. You're not allowed to defend yourself on social media because then you're the devil.
No, especially not Denise. You're a woman. You're not allowed to defend yourself.
Of course. No, I just cannot.
Also, Denise, thank you as we round off this show for our second swear of the episode. It was great. It was great we started the episode with one and we ended the show with one. It was great.
I didn't say anything.
You did. You dropped an S-bomb.
No, I did not.
You did.
Now you're just hearing things.
You did, and it was fucking brilliant. Thank you, Denise, and thank you to everyone who's watched the show today. We'll be back tomorrow with Pete and Tempest reviewing SmackDown and that very stacked AEW Rampage that is available tomorrow. I'll be on the channel tomorrow, WrestleTalk.com. Sorry, oh my God, I'm all over the place. It's on the podcast channel tomorrow. Tune in. It's on the usual times. And I'm going to be off for a week, but everyone is going to have a great show and everyone's going to have a great time. I love you all. Have a nice weekend. Oh man, where's my end cards? Denise, where's my... There it is. Bye, everyone.